Are you searching for products? Are you searching for products to sell on Amazon? If you are, there's a strong chance you are using Google SEO approaches to a non-Google platform, and it could spell the demise of your Amazon store. But first, here's what you might have missed this week in Amazon and e-commerce news. Just One Dime will be at South by Southwest March 2020 in Austin, Texas. Now, we're very excited because we got accepted for the booth in what's called the Startup Village. If you don't know what South by Southwest is, it's an annual conglomerate of film, interactive media, and music festivals and conferences, and all takes place right here every mid-March. Now, it started in 1987, but to give you perspective, it has grown to over 150,000 attendees as of last year. We also applied to be on 2 high-level platforms for 2020. First, the conference panel, and second, the education panel. But to get accepted, we need your help, literally. So here's what I need you to do. If you go to the About section of this video, there's 2 links. Please register and vote. And if you feel you get insane value from these videos, we're asking just for 5 minutes of your time to do this for us. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, The Verge, and CNN all report that eBay is suing Amazon for alleged conspiracy. They're trying to steal high-volume sellers off of eBay's platform. Does this remind anyone of Uber stealing Lyft drivers back in the day? You're driving in Lyft and all of a sudden you get this notification that you have a passenger to pick up, you pick them up, and it's only a half-mile drive, which means you make almost no money. And the entire conversation is why you should drive for Uber instead, and the drivers got really angry. Let me tell you how it went down with Amazon. Amazon employees purportedly created fake eBay accounts. They messaged the high-volume eBay sellers from those accounts, encouraging them to sell on Amazon instead of eBay. And some of them succeeded. So now, eBay's upset. They are vilifying Amazon as the, quote, 800-pound gorilla with a hand grenade, end quote. Now, apart from the fact that Amazon has a market cap of $887 billion and eBay only $33 billion, and apart from the fact that 3 Amazon employees broke eBay agreements they agreed to when they created those fake eBay accounts, I can't help but respect the guerrilla warfare style hustle. Just part of me does, but it also reminds me that you have to be careful when you set up an account on eBay or Amazon. Amazon seller, what will impact you a ton here is not so much that Amazon is getting sued, but how you apply for a new Amazon account. Or even your first Amazon account could result in a ton of cash flow or a suspended account and mountains of frustration. So when you open an Amazon or even an eBay store, follow that agreement or you could get suspended to the moon, and it's a long way back. Based on latest reports, it is now confirmed that eBay is launching, can you believe this, their own fulfillment center. Heart emoji, thank you eBay, I love you. A couple reasons why. Number 1, this increases the competition for Amazon and other platforms, which again means we get to be prioritized. But second, you need to go back to my last 10 cents where I talk about this when it comes to Shopify. Now you have Amazon, Shopify, eBay, all their own fulfillment centers. This is going to open up communication between all the platforms. It means everyone's going to be in a similar boat with different nuances for each platform, and it's going to create a sense of community and a huge opportunity for you who's selling e-commerce online. Facebook is being accused of refusing to shut down groups, incentivizing people to write fake Amazon reviews. Guys, I can't believe this is still happening. Way back in 2016, October of 2016, Amazon came out with a huge announcement that incentivized reviews are no longer allowed. And since that day, multiple companies have been sued by Amazon. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind, if you're one of those group members, they can actually name you publicly and call you out so the whole world will know you used this tactic. I wouldn't recommend it because per a UK consumer group, there are hundreds of groups on Facebook recruiting people to write fake, highly rated reviews on Amazon in exchange for free products and other incentives. If you become a part of one of these groups, it is Amazon business suicide. Amazon is like the FBI and CIA combined when it comes to scouting out fake reviews. For example, one of our own students doing $5,000 a month, applying the training we gave, decided to use a reviewer group. And we told him, don't do it. He did it. He used a review service. His account was suspended and he no longer makes the $5,000 a month. And that was off of one single product. In fact, that listing cannot even receive reviews anymore because it was compromised in Amazon's eyes. Robin Johnson penned an article in the Search Engine Journal entitled An Advanced SEO Guide to Top Rankings on Amazon. You need to read the article. In fact, this article is one of the best on the internet when it comes to unraveling the mass confusion over how to use Amazon SEO to rank your listing. I love the article, but I want to add a few notes. Robin opens the article explaining how you cannot assume that Google search algorithms work the same as Amazon. In fact, in Gary Vee's words, he would just say, screw the algorithms, they don't even work anymore. Now, I totally agree with Robin, but I would also add how powerful one's subconscious habits can work against them. In other words, if you tell someone they need to grow in self-awareness, but most of the time, that doesn't result in them growing in self-awareness, so you have to pinpoint it. And if you just started selling on Amazon, you are probably putting a Google mindset on your Amazon business without even knowing it. Yes, to rank on Google, you do need long form content. You need in-depth data. You need lots of shares, but none of that matters for Amazon. For Amazon, you just need relevancy. If you want to narrow down every possible SEO trick in the book to one thing to get your listing on Amazon both ranking and selling, here's what it is. Your pictures, your title, your bullet points, your backend keywords, your product description, even the other keywords on the back end, that other tab, all of that has to communicate one thing, and it is this: what your customer wants to see. In other words, precision, precise content focused on what they are searching. Now, in her article, Robin gives you 4 steps you can take to rank and convert your product in Amazon. And I just want to warn you, this article will de-Google the heck out of your mind, and that's why I like it so much. Her first point is quite simple. She says, find targeted buyer-oriented keywords. And she writes that most sellers are content with targeting just 5 to 10 keywords for the Amazon listing. However, you need to harvest thousands of keywords and then rank them based on priority. What priorities? It's simple. What the customer will search. I agree. Then she mentions merchant words for getting some of those thousands of relevant keywords. Just so you have a little more context, merchant words is great for keyword ideas, but it's not telling you what Amazon shoppers are searching. It's telling you what Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo searchers are searching. So if you really want an exact list of what the customers are searching for, run a PPC campaign on your product listing. Even if it's just a placeholder and you're running PPC on that, it's gonna give you the terms that shoppers are searching, and they are exact. The question alone that makes Robin's article worth gold is this: if I didn't know the name or brand of this product, how would I find it? If your product is a new way, for example, to clean dirty toenails, and the name of your product is Sparkly Toes, no one is gonna search Sparkly Toe on Amazon because they don't know your brand yet. This means your product listing has to have keywords like clean toes, or clean feet, or cleaning toenails, or toenail cleaning tools, if anyone is going to find it. Now, point number 2 that she makes is this: maximizing the number of highly relevant keywords you are indexed for. Robin brings out some excellent actionable advice on this point. In other words, a lot of Amazon sellers think if they just have the keyword in their listing, it's going to guarantee it gets indexed, which means if I type in the keyword, your listing is connected to the keyword, it's going to show up. But those Amazon sellers are in for quite a surprise. For example, when you create your Amazon listing title, you have to follow Amazon's guidelines for a fully optimized and Amazon compliant title. You can't just put in a title the way you would search for it. You have to think like your customer. And at minimum, you're going to include a brand name, the product name, the size, the flavor, color, style, whatever that is, and then words describing how you would use the product. And as a bonus, if you have room, the differentiation you did for the product at the end of that title. Make sure your listing is listed in the correct subcategory, or it may not even index at all. In light of this point, there's something you need to think about. You need to create what is called a canonical URL so that it ranks on Google as well. What I mean is the actual URL will have the main keywords in it. So if I go to Google and I search for your cleaning dirty toenails product, it's gonna pop up on Google as well. And on Google, it will be linked to your Amazon listing, which means you're gonna get a ton more sales. Then you can use Google ads, you can run Facebook ads, and you start to build a brand. One more thought on this point. Robin mentions that bullet points should be benefits. 100% agreed. But I would add to that, you need to back them up with scientific facts. Each bullet must begin with the experience, the benefit, and then end with the scientific fact that proves that it can actually provide that experience or benefit. For example, you wouldn't just say resist heat, you would say protects your hand from burns with its 450 Fahrenheit degree resistance coating. Point number 3, Robin says ensuring your listing is retail ready by focusing on elements that ensure conversion. She covers images, using FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, instead of FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant. She talks about pricing, making sure it's competitive, and she even talks about enhanced brand content, which is possible through brand registry. Now, these are rock solid points. You gotta read the article, but here is what I would add. You need a launch strategy. Amazon listings are kind of like rockets. You're gonna put a ton of fuel into the launch, and then it requires far less fuel to keep that rocket flying. For example, use Amazon's review page. They have their own review page that you can sign up for. It only costs $60 per SKU, and you can get up to 5 reviews on your listing for using it. You can also use coupon discounts on the listing under Amazon's promotion page. You can also use Facebook and target your customers. And the most important is you can collect your customer data, which I'm going to speak to in a moment. Point number 4 that Robin makes is jumpstarting sales and conversions for your listing. And she gives you 2 tips. She says, first, concentrate your traffic towards one listing. So if you have 2 duplicates, it's better to merge them. And in addition, make sure all the child variations are under the same parent. Secondly, she recommends you use Amazon promotions, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. The one thing I would add here is you gotta focus on building a brand. So far, everything in this article has just focused on how to get sales on Amazon. That's great, but the transaction should not end with the transaction. It ends with the brand. In other words, you find a way, and we teach this, how to collect the name and the email of your customer without ever going against Amazon's terms of service, and how to build that into a brand that people love. We help scale a company to 7 million a month. And today they're preparing for a $150 million exit. Guys, I'm excited about this article. You've got to read it. It's below. Click on it and tell me what you think of her article. Tell me what you think of my takes on the article. Heck, I might even do a collaboration with her. I really love the content she provided. Guys, get out there, make it happen. That's my 10 cents.